Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. On the day it's being recorded, it is Sunday, November 3rd, 2024. It is exactly 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Temperature is around 61 degrees. Actually feels real nice, even though I was expecting it to be kind of chilly out just a little bit, but no, it actually ain't too bad out. But yeah, I'm going out on a walk just because, well, for one, I haven't been outside since I got home from work Friday night. And I at least need to get some sort of vitamin D in my body. That sounded very weird, but I get some vitamin D in, before it starts getting too late for me to be able to go out and do this. Plus, I want to play a little bit of Pokemon Go, too. Because even though this is my weekend that I have off, the time change was last night. Ohio State won yesterday. Oh, the first half was almost embarrassing. But, even though, yes, I am off this weekend, meaning I don't have to go in to work at my regular normal 11:30, but I am scheduled to go into work tonight. That's right. I'm working my 9:30 to 6 Sunday night shift. So I won't be off until about 6 a.m. in the morning on Monday, tomorrow. And then I don't know who you are, but hi. But yeah, I'll be off until until next Saturday. Because, I requested Tuesday and Wednesday off. So that'd be nice. That'd be cool. Well, we all know what Tuesday is. Tuesday's election day. Today is the last day for early voting, so if you don't go out and do the early voting today, you're gonna have to wait until election day on Tuesday. Now, everyone's more focused on who's gonna be the next president, but like how I've always been saying, the most important elections you really should pay attention to is not the president election, but Congress. Yeah. All the elections has to do with Congress. Because, for one, whichever party controls either or houses of Congress will depend on how the new presidency of either Trump or Kamala will take shape, at least in their first 2 years. Which, are usually either hit or miss. So just to reiterate of what I think the results will be, I'm pretty sure I made a video about it that you guys can check out. I'm predicting that for the House, it will be a majority by about, I don't know, like at least somewhere between 10 and 15 seats. So that's at least 235 seats that the Republicans will control. Although it's been a while since a party has had that many seats. Usually it floats around 220. I'm predicting that the Senate will be a Republican majority, but it will be a slight majority of about 4 or 5 seats. Now just keep in mind for both houses of Congress. For the House, the simple majority is 218. So whatever party has at least 218 seats, that is going to be the party of the majority for the House for, the next Congress. Let's see here. For the Senate, the simple majority is 51. But usually in order to get stuff passed, bare minimum, you honestly need at least half. Because if there's a direct tie in anything that the Senate votes on, whether it be like a bill that they came up with or a bill that came from the House or vice versa, or doing some form of confirmation or approving some treaty, if exactly half of the senators agree, the vice president, who will more likely side with the president, casts the tie casting ballot. And that's the only thing that the vice president's only allowed to do, besides swearing in new senators, is that they're supposed to break the tie. And as of right now, Kamala Harris has cast quite a lot of Senate ties as her tenure as vice president. The only one that's cast the most, I think, is who was that? I think it was John C. Calhoun that cast the most. Yeah, it was John C. Calhoun that has cast the most Senate ties, like broke the most. I think he had like 25 or something like that. As far as I know, Kamala's around 17. So she's at least up in the top 5 somewhere. I mean, hell, when the Senate was debating on whether or not they're going to get rid of Obamacare, back in the early days of Trump's first presidency, back in 2017, before they were even about to begin, it was a tie to 50-50, and then Vice President Mike Pence cast a tie-breaking vote, saying like, okay, we're going to proceed. And, I mean, we all know Obamacare was disastrous anyways. So, yeah. Alright, so probably about the time that we get up to about Safety City, that's when I'm going to get off of here, and we're going to jump immediately to Pokemon Go. And then I'll be on it up until around, say around Papa John's. And I'll just make a video the rest of the way back to the house as like a part 2. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But anyways, so yeah, I'll have 5 days off. Because here's what my plan is. My plan is that at around 7 o'clock, I'm gonna go on Facebook Live and give out some live election results. And I will be on live, and we will calculate every single electoral vote that will presumptively go to the winning candidate. Because, like how I said before, is that we the people are not directly voting for the president, which is, how the Electoral College works. Is that each party in each state has delegates, and they have a certain number of delegates. How do they come up with a certain number of delegates? Well, it's based on how many members of Congress each state has. So, for a state like, we'll say Wisconsin has 10 Electoral College votes, which means that they have 8 representatives, and every state gets 2. Because, 2 senators. Each state has a bare minimum of 1 representative in the House and 2 senators. So bare minimum, each state is getting a bare minimum of 3 electoral votes. At least. And so 48 out of the 50 states, presidential election works like this. If a candidate receives at least half plus 1 of the popular vote in that state, no matter Democrat or Republican, that candidate will be guaranteed to win those number of votes. So, for example, Ohio has 17 electoral votes because we have 15 members of the House plus 2 senators. So, and the electors are basically just local politicians and businessmen and farmers and just people on the inside for every election. That was weird that guy was trying to look at my phone while I was trying to walk past him. He probably thought I was on a call. I want to see who I was talking to. Well, that guy can go suck a dick since he's smoking a cigarette. But anyways, so Ohio, every state has 2 pre-approved groups of electors, depending on the party. So Ohio has 217 groups of electors. So, if Ohio votes for Trump, which it more likely will, the Republican group of electors that Ohio has chosen will be the ones who officially cast Ohio's vote. And every state does the same exact thing. The only state that doesn't have at least 3 representatives for Congress in either the House or the Senate is Washington, D.C. They technically have a delegate to the House, but no senators. But for the longest time, people that live in D.C. were not allowed to vote for the president. Up until about, I think, 1965, when people of D.C. were allowed to vote for president. So, even though they only have a delegate to Congress, they were still given equal electoral power as someone from, like, Wyoming. So, yeah. It's kind of how we stand with that. So, the only exception to the half+1 rule for every state is 2 states do it based on congressional districts, which is kind of complicated. The only states that do that are Maine and Nebraska, because they do the electoral votes based on their districts themselves, and then give out the remaining electoral votes based on what was statewide. So Maine has 2 congressional districts, so each one will be more than likely Trump will win the 2nd district of Maine, even though it's, in the Northeast, which will probably be the only thing he'll win up in the Northeast. And Kamala would obviously get the remaining 3 electoral votes, because Maine has 4 electoral votes. And the same story kind of would happen in Nebraska, although there are 3 congressional districts in Nebraska. And so Trump would win the 1st and 3rd district, and Kamala will more than likely win the 2nd. So, yeah, there's that. And then the remaining 2 will go to Trump, which for the state of Nebraska, it'll more likely go 4 for Trump and 1 for Kamala. And it'll be roughly the same story with Maine, other than it's kind of vice versa. 3 for Kamala, 1 for Trump. It's confusing, but I made a video about it, how it kind of works, and I try to simplify it as much as I possibly can with as much information. But, it's still kind of complicated. Alright, I'm gonna hop off here, play some Pokemon Go, and we'll meet back up when we're in front of around Papa John's, and we'll do a part 2. Alright, we'll see you later.